Hi guys, the film opens with a stunning young woman named Fiona. We see her meet a handsome man named Jack, and they fall in love. However, after 4 years of dating, Fiona decides to end their relationship because she wants to live her life on her terms. Jack knows that when Fiona leaves him, she won't come back, but he complies with her wishes and they part ways. Fiona then travels, and it becomes clear that she doesn't want to start a relationship again because her goals can't wait more. And then she meets Heather, a very impulsive girl who don't love anyone. And she prefers to spend her time in social settings such as parties. She also dislikes long-term relationships, and as a result of her numerous relationships, one morning she screams at a young man who is with her at house, telling him that he ought to have left when he woke up. But the man responds that she is at his home and she slept on his bed following what happened between them at night. Then we see Heather in her work at the law firm, where she sees Fiona works there as well. Heather recognizes Fiona. Next, we see a girl named Ellen, who likewise doesn't love anyone and is only considered with her work. She has to go down to the cafeteria next to her house due to internet issue at her home, and she meets Michael, the cafeteria waiter there, and he's surprised to see Ellen sitting alone with a laptop. Ellen informs him of her thoughts on the matter, stating that out of the 8 million people living in New York, 4 million are women, and they are not in her area of interest. There are also 4 million men, 3 million of whom are under the age of 20 and older than 40. And this is also not her area of interest. In this scenario, there is only 1 million men left. After she selects the qualities of the knight of her dreams, she finds no man who fits her, and that's it. Then Ellen meets a man and feels he fit her, but she finds out that he is a stranger and wants to get rid of him. And Michael assists her and gives her keys so she can enter and hides until this person leaves. Then we see Fiona enters the cafeteria with Heather to celebrate Fiona's first day of work. Heather promises Fiona that she will teach her how to live her life with no having a serious affair. Heather then tries to get Fiona to meet a man from among the people seated next to them, but Fiona is unable to do because she has been living with Jack for the previous 4 years. Afterwards, Heather then introduces Fiona to Michael, and the next day when Fiona and Heather wake up, they are at the home of Fiona's sister, Dr. Linda. However, because they wake up late, they are running late for work, and Heather aware that the initial things they need to do is wake up comfortably and be free of headache. Then they go to work, but they are 3.5 hours late. Fiona wants to talk to Michael, but she stops herself. But she is falling, and she ends up talking to him and seeing him at the end of the day. Michael tells Fiona that he is not the right person for a serious relationship, to which she replies that she should have kept single and not deceive Jack. But Michael says that it's difficult to stay alone, but she can follow his rules, like don't stay with one person a while, but more significantly, don't put any food or water in the fridge, meaning there is no breakfast at home, and that the relationships is just for one night. But Fiona don't like his words, and she calls Jack the following day and sees him. She rejoices a lot to see him, and she says that she wishes to come back again, and she went to keep her relationships with him. But Jack tells her that he doesn't love her and that he only cares about Michelle. Fiona is very sad about what he says, and they part ways. Fiona tells her sister what happened, and she tells her to carry on living her life without him, as she had previously decided. Then Linda leaves for her work, and when returns home, telling Fiona that the owner of the house has refused to let her live in the house, or he will throw them all out because he doesn't want any problem. And Fiona moves into a new house alone. And when Jack comes to her, Fiona is overjoyed and wishes to reconcile. But we know that Michelle has moved in with Jack, so he is here to hand Fiona her belongings that were in his house. The following day, Fiona visits her sister Linda, and we see Linda's desire to have a child and use of injection clinics and waiting for the results, and she celebrates a lot when the results show and that she is pregnant. The Christmas comes and everyone gathers at Fiona's office to celebrate, and Linda is there, and we see Ken interacting with Linda and showing her admiration for one another. Then we see Ellen meet the gentleman of her dreams and she is treating him like a husband. However, this man shocked Ellen and informs her that he knows a lot of girls and she has to act the same. Ellen strongly refuses, telling him that she wants a serious relationship that ends in marriage and that they part ways. And Ellen stays surprised for a long time. Additionally, when Ellen reads stories for the kids, she gets upset with them and yells at them and says that there's no such things as true love. Until Joseph, the library's owner, comes and calms Ellen down, and Ellen has clearly started to love Joseph. The night comes, and we see Fiona visited to Jack's house with her friend Heather to celebrate the Christmas. And Jack tells his girlfriend Michelle that Fiona is his cousin. Meanwhile, we see Linda taking a break from her work when we see Ken waiting her outside to tell her that they will put the Christmas tree together if she hasn't already. Linda gets the impression that Ken wants a serious relationship and wants to get married. Linda therefore makes a decision to break up with him and informs him that she is unable to continue the relationship since she spent the entire days in the hospital and is unable to see him. Also, she will be either exhausted or asleep when she can't see him. And because she doesn't want to suffer and fall in love, she leaves Ken. Later, after Linda returns home, she finds Ken waiting for her. He brings her a Christmas tree as a gift, which makes Linda very happy. After that, we see Fiona leaving the party because she was unable to see Jack dating another girl. She walking alone and going to see the large Christmas tree alone, but accidentally she sees Dan, a man she met at a party a long time ago, and Dan offers to go see the tree together and takes Fiona to a beautiful location to see the tree more beautifully. And after that, Fiona starts a new relationship with Dan. But after 3 months, they decide not to stay together and part ways. Fiona goes with Heather and drinks till get drunk. When Fiona wakes up the following day and finds herself sleeping in a strange home, she runs away right away. Next, we see Linda trying to avoid Ken until Ken accidentally sees her and asks her how pregnant she is, and Ken thinks he's the father of the baby, but Linda tells him she's pregnant before she recognizes him. Ken tells Linda that he wants to be a father and informs Linda that she can't raise the child alone. Linda responds that she doesn't want assistance from anybody, breaks up with Ken, and chooses to remain lonely like her sister Fiona. Then we see Fiona going to Michael to complain to him about Jack, and everyone starts talking about the person he loves, and Michael tells her that he loves Ellen so much. And the following day is Fiona's birthday, and we see Jack, Dan, and Michael. They're all at the party, and we see that Heather invited them. Fiona attempts to hide herself so that they won't see her, but Dan eventually finds her and regrets to her for what happened. Then he apologizes and leaves. Fiona fights with Heather for what she was doing, and she invited them, and Heather gets upset and cry and leaves the party. Jack then shows up and tells Fiona that he misses their time together and their shared moments of making love, but he also says that he will marry Michelle, though he's not sure if he will do it or not. Fiona tells Jack that he ought to focus on Michelle for their wedding, and she is wrong from the beginning because she got away from him, and that she is even more wrong because she waited for him to come back to her. But at last, we see Fiona that she totally prefers to stay single and leaves her celebration and wants to go home, but accidentally sees Heather, attempts to stop a taxi, that she transports Linda to the hospital, after which we see them in the hospital where Linda gives birth. And when Fiona tells Ken that, he visits her and tells her that though she is crazy and she has strange behaviors, she still loves her and will remain with her. At this point, Linda gives Ken her child and tell him that she wishes to remain with her so that they can care for the child together. After returning to her life without love, Fiona misses Heather and goes to visit her, telling her that she is her best friend and that she doesn't mean to make her sad. Eventually, Fiona stays by herself a long time and says that some people like Heather enjoy their lives to the fullest, and that some people like Linda and Ken looking for stability in their lives, while others like Michael don't, and that some people may have missed a chance and others took advantage of the opportunity, like Ellen and Joseph. Eventually, Fiona starts to fulfill her goals as she had desired. And that is how the film concludes. Press like and subscribe to the channel to get new movie recaps. Miss Bombastic was with you. Goodbye my friends, with my love.